dear participants. Next we have our speaker, Mr. Amir Fleischman. Web intelligence is a simple to use tool for the production of reports with the help of a web browser. To know more on web intelligence and social media intelligence, we have Mr. Amir Fleischman, Managing Director at Cicom Global with us. E-conference team and Global Digital Marketing Summit, I would like to welcome you for this grand event. And to know more on web intelligence and social media intelligence, we have Mr. Amir, Managing Director of Cicom Global with us. Mr. Amir Fleischman is the founder and Managing Director of Cicom Global. He is an international competitive intelligence CI expert and delivers around 200 lectures, talks and workshops per year in the field of marketing and CI in various countries and market segments. Amir is the head of competitive intelligence studies at the Homeland Security Academy at the Wingate College and an ongoing lecturer of business entrepreneurship and management at various educational institutions. He has substantially experience in market research, marketing strategies, project management, and consulting practices. Yeah, Mr. Amir, the stage is yours.
Okay, so at first, thank you very much for having me in the GDMS. It is a real pleasure. And this session will deal with web and social media intelligence. In other words, I'm going to show the audience all sorts of platforms and tools that will enable them to better compete, if I may, within their ecosystem, to better understand the players within. I will use the word targets to better know your targets. Now, a target, when I say a target, I usually mean competitors. But a target can also be a potential or existing customer. A target could be a supplier. A target could be a distributor or an investor. Any player that is relevant for you is a target. So in order to better understand your target, you need to find significant information about this target. By the way, it doesn't necessarily need to be a person. A target can be a product. Or a market. So whenever you are logging into the net to find information, valuable one, about your targets, then you can collect all the needed information, deduct some conclusion, analyze everything, and come up with the right insights, then to be turned into winning business actions. So I'm going to talk today about all sorts of tools and platforms that will enable us to perhaps reveal the secrets of our targets. So let us start. Whenever we want to get information about companies, the very first place to start looking for information about companies would be databases. There are plenty of databases. Some of them are free of charge. Some of them are paid databases. One of the largest databases in the world for companies is the Open Corporates database. It's the largest open database of companies in the world. And as you can see, it has already nearly 140 million registered companies that you can look for information by jurisdiction, by officers. So, for example, if I'd like to get my hands over companies by jurisdiction, you can see here the countries, the amount of companies, the amount of offices, etc. If, for example, I'm interested in IBM, there are only 1,775 IBM companies in the world. So you can naturally filter them out by jurisdiction and filter them out by all sorts of parameters within this database. Then I can decide if I'd like to get further details about this company. In our case, IBM, like for example, I'd like to know where is IBM considered as an approved government supplier, and I can have this kind of breakdown. Very efficient. If I'm looking for a person, assuming I'm looking for a person called Jack Smith, there are 2,299 Jack Smiths in the world in the business sector. Okay, obviously I can filter all of those Jack Smiths by jurisdiction, but not only that, but I can also filter them by nationality, by position, by occupation, and so forth. So everything is right there at your disposal, and it's a free database, so why not using it? How about a tool called Instant Checkmate for all of our American colleagues or attendants? This is the leading background search and people search tool on the internet. It's a very thorough platform to look for public records about people, social media photos, police records, background checks, etc. So if you're an American citizen and tomorrow morning I have a business meeting with you, or perhaps you're just one of my potential customers, I can check on you using that database or that tool quite easily. And since it has all sorts of very sensitive information about people, I do need to click in advance some buttons that make me understand that whatever I'm going to look for is a bit of sensitive. That's the first page. Okay, this site contains real police records, background reports, court documents, etc., etc., etc. So please be careful when conducting a search and ensure all the information you enter is accurate. So yeah, it can be shocking sometimes. Some of these tools, as I said, are free of charge. This is a freemium tool. Okay, so yeah, there are all sorts of tools like that spread all over the net. You just need to know about their existence and start using them. Let's go to some search engines. Most of us, if not all of us, use Google as our prime source of information when we talk about search engines. Obviously not in China, but elsewhere in the world. The question is if Google still our prime source of information when digging for crucial information about our targets on the internet. Google is soon going to turn 20 in this coming September. Is it still our prime source of information? Well, yes, it is. According to the EB's MBA, a very good website that will give you all sorts of statistics about websites in the world, people use Google. It's the top #1 search engine with estimated 1,800,000,000 searches per month. But there are others as well. The top 3, Google, Bing, and Yahoo, are global general search engines. But there are other search engines to be taken into consideration when we search for significant information that is not on Google's first pages. Okay, and as you can see here, these are the 6 to 10 ranked search engines. So there are more than just Google, Bing, and Yahoo for us to use when we look for information in the web. Going back, for example, to the search engine ranked 4, I will talk about it later on, but Baidu is a Chinese search engine. It's the largest non-English search engine in the world. So if you are looking for targets in China, you might want to use Baidu over Google, okay, because it indexed far more pages on Chinese web pages than Google. If I'll take you here to other search engines, here for example, Yandex is a Russian search engine, and if you are looking for prospects, targets in the Russian-speaking countries and world, you might want to use Yandex instead of Google. Okay, so the web is full of other search engines that than the top 3, and if you'd like to thoroughly search for information about your targets, you might want to use them as well alongside the top 3 search engines. How about DuckDuckGo, for example? Now, in recent years, we've noticed that the search engines know us pretty well. They know where we logging in from. They know where we've been. They know what kind of queries we use in order to get to our results. So you want to keep your privacy to yourself. Now, in the last couple of years, there's a rise of anonymous searches. One of the leading search engines in the world for performing anonymous search is DuckDuckGo, for example. Okay, it blocks advertising trackers, it keeps your search history private, and it takes control of your personal data. Last year, it was ranked only 11th with 13 million unique monthly visitors, but this year it is ranked already 7th with 150 million unique searches. So people do use more and more anonymous searches because they don't want Google and the rest to understand what they are looking for. How about some deep web searches? As you know, most of the search engines focus only in about 4, 5, 10% of the entire amount of web pages. But there are, other pages that are within the deep web. And if you would like to find obscure information that is usually hard to find or locate by the conventional search engines, you might want to use other vertical search engines. One of them is Yippee, for example. So if I'm going to look for information about 3Com, the company, when I'm going to do it in Yippee, I'm not just going to go to pages that Google usually find them harder to find, but I can also sort my results. Okay, so if I'm looking, for example, for drivers, if I'm looking for all kinds of distributors here of 3Com, and assuming I'm their competitor, I do want to know who distributes 3Com product. I can easily go to this menu here and get it straight away than to try and find it in Google or elsewhere. How about some human-powered search? As you know, the most search engines have crawlers, have spiders. They have all kinds of robots doing the indexes automatically. But what if I'd like to get different kind of results that are filtered by humans? Okay, these results would be more qualitative than the ones that Google or Bing will give me. So for that kind of purpose, I would use Mahalo, for example, which is a human-powered search engine. It means that you will get fewer results than in Bing or Google, but the results are filtered and therefore with higher quality of content and relevance to you than those of Google's. Okay, now what you can do here is actually get real news that are curated by real humans. Again, you can either get it by a newsletter going straight directly to your email address, or you can just perform a search here and get the results you want. So if, for example, I'm interested in Amazon, then here I will get only 2,111 stories or results found, as opposed to maybe 200 billion results in Google. But each one of these results were actually filtered by real people, and therefore they have some additional added value to me than those of a robot. Now, as for other means of intelligence, like photos or videos, we always thought that in order to look for information in videos, we should go to YouTube. But apparently, Google has a better tool that is called Google Videos, okay, that will generate a lot of information, valuable one to me, not only from YouTube, but also from Vimeo, from Vine, from other streaming video platform, which is terrific because I can learn a lot from videos. So if, for example, I'm interested in artificial intelligence, okay, AI, it's a very hot topic these days in the world. So if I'll look for it in Google Videos, I can, as you can see, you can get it from varied sources like technologyreview.com, from YouTube, from Wired, and from TED. Okay, not just from youtube.com. So you do want to get multiple sources of information, and with videos, you do want to get other sources than YouTube, because it's not the sole platform for videos online. How about Wolfram Alpha? It is a search engine that is, well, actually it's like a supercomputer. It will give you all kinds of results that are either numeric or graphical related answers to your questions, and not just texts. So if, for example, I will log into Wolfram Alpha and type Nokia, which is a company we all know, you will get all sorts of statistics related to Nokia, financial figures, graphs, and so on. Okay, so it has a different kind of appearance of information related to Nokia than that of in Google. Now, assuming Nokia is my competitor, again, I can get all sorts of valuable information about them just by searching with a different kind of search engine than the ones that I usually activate. FakeSpot. If you are in the B2C market, business to customer, to consumer, and here I talk about customer intelligence. You know, very popular phrase these days is fake news. How about some fake reviews? Fake reviews to products sold in the internet. And assuming they are your competing products, you may be surprised to learn that some of your competing products got some fake reviews. So this tool here, fakespot.com, knows how to smartly distinguish between the false and genuine reviews the product got. So what you can do here, for example, is you can paste to this query any kind of an Amazon or Yelp or TripAdvisor page. It will analyze the specific product or service and will tell you whether this product got false or true reviews. So here, for example, I was interested to buy an Acer monitor that was sold on Amazon. So what I did is I just copied their link and pasted it into FakeSpot. So what they sensed is that, first of all, they ranked it as a C grade, which means that there are some manipulations here about the reviews this product got, as you can see here, and that is why I should take that into consideration when I'm going to buy this product. So if, for example, they also checked on some, reviewers like Steve here or Michael, they sense that this account looks to be generated by automation. So again, I can take any kind of my competing products and start to analyze the reviews they got and deduct really qualitative conclusions about them and their performance. When I wanted to check on John Grisham's novel, on the other hand, I got an A grade, which says here you can trust the reviews of this product. How lovely, how efficient. Again, free of charge. How about looking for people on the web? There are all sorts of search engines that know how to find details about people. not just the names, but also their contact addresses, email addresses, phone numbers, and so forth. The pictures. These are the top 10 search engines that specifically know how to find information about people. So if, for example, let's take Spokeo, which is a great tool to find who is behind a certain email address that is not known to you. Assuming that you get all sorts of inquiries about your product from this Hotmail account. You don't know who behind this Hotmail account. So it can be your competitor trying to dig for information about your own product. So what you would like to do using Spokeo is enter this email address and run a search. And what Spokeo will do is it will try to analyze who's behind this email address by taking this email address and actually map it throughout the web. Try to see whether this email address appeared in all sorts of social media platforms, etc. And voila, within seconds, Spokeo found that it is actually me, Amir Fleischman, that is behind this particular email address. So once again, you can reveal your competitors, or perhaps not just competitors, your clients trying to find information about you and your product quite easily. How lovely. Quora. Now again, like Mahalo, if I'd like to get some answers from the real experts, not just from robots that index the net thoroughly, but from real human beings, people that are within communities, then Quora is your tool. First of all, it's very intimate. It recognizes me, Amir Fleischman. What is your question? Now, if I'd like to raise a question about Google, okay, what I got is an answer by Andrew McGregor, who is a site reliability engineer at Google. Okay, I did not get a robot to answer, but a real person that is working for Google. How convenient, how authentic, how genuine. Okay, so once again, you can use wisely these kind of tools to put your hands over significant information by just looking for the answers coming from the right people with those answers. How about some local markets? I mentioned earlier some of the vertical search engines that are at your disposal. Baidu in China, Yandex in Russia, Naver is a local Korean search engine. It means that these kind of search engines indexed far more pages locally than Google. Now that's a problem when you go abroad. Let's say you would like to penetrate the Chinese market, and you went to China and you met some potential clients. Now you'd like to run a check on them, a search on them, to see whether they are reliable or not. But guess what? Google is blocked in China. So obviously you will not be able to run a search in Google. You will have to use a local search engine. With Yandex, for example, more than 70% of the Russian-speaking targets use Yandex. So you might want to use Yandex to get valuable information about them instead of running a search in Google. Maybe you will find some information about them in Google, but it's going to be to give you fewer results than in Yandex. How about Zanran? Zanran is a statistical search engine. Now, when I say statistical, I mean that Zanran will give you back not just the results, but it will give you results in PDF and Excel formats. Oh my God. It means that just think about the outcome, the outputs. Because whenever I look for information in Excel, I would try to get my hands over a competitor price list, or their salaries, or their, I don't know, stocks. So whenever you look for numeric or table figures, you might want to use Zenran. And here is a great example. This is Teva here. Teva Pharmaceutical Industries is one of the largest generic pharmaceutical companies in the world. When I ran a search on Teva in Google, that is what I got. But when I ran a search on Teva in Zenran, so that is what I got. I got all sorts of links that did not appear in Google. Not only that, but Zenran recommended me to hover here with my mouse just to see the type of information, the actual files, the tables that he could give me about Teva. And by clicking this fourth result in Teva, check this out, show me the money. Teva price list with dollars and everything. So you just need to know the right tools and you'll get the information quite easily, quite effectively, without spending a lot of time, money, and other resources on market research or everything else. Just know the right tools. That's a secret. Let's go to some visualization, okay? Because everything today is all about photos and graphs and images and videos. So go visual, guys, okay? I'll tell you a secret. Text is tiring. Text is boring. Text is endless. We are simply fed up with text. Nowadays, it is much more effective to go visual, to get your intelligence from photos like the ones you currently see on your screen. Okay, you get thicker layers of information. You get it intuitively, and it is, as opposed to the text, untiring. Okay, we like photos, we like graphs, we like videos. So do try to, I also teach marketing. In marketing, we say one picture worth 1,000 words. Same with intelligence. Okay, you can get different kind of information when you look for it in visually. So, for example, take TNI, which is a reverse image search engine. TNI has indexed almost over 26 billion images on the net, much more than Google. Okay, so by running a search here using an image, let's take for example these Sony headphones. I wanted to either buy them or just monitor them because Sony is my competitor, just for the argument. I could easily search by an image here in TNI and get not less than 1,089 results of this image appearing anywhere on the net. Now, the ones that have this image would be, for example, Sony distributors, Sony resellers, okay? And that's valuable information for me if I'm competing against those resellers. Or, maybe I can offer them some, joint venture or whatever. It's good to know this stuff. Okay, so by searching by image, you can get a lot of details that are not necessarily to be found using just texts. Flickr. Okay, Flickr has this button, search for similar photos to those of the competing products. Okay, so Flickr, of course, it's a social media network for images, for videos, and by searching for similar photos of competing products, I can learn more about the market, about new maybe players, and so on, new products. How lovely. On Facebook, you can run search by photos, you can run search by videos. Okay, again, check this out. If Avis is my competitor, I can easily check on the new models and some criticism maybe about these new models and so forth. Very easy, very intuitive, go visual. Pinterest, another great social media platform. They say that Pinterest is doing what Google can do for search. Why? It has indexed over 50 billion images throughout the net. Now, if your competitors' customers upload to Pinterest the new products they just purchased, okay, you can see exactly what they look like, where they purchased these products, how they fit into one's apartment or an office, and again deduct qualitative conclusions. Okay, so don't be lazy. Try to look for stuff that is both visual and on the social media world, and I'll get to it later on. YouTube, of course. Okay, you can search for videos of your competitors. Sometimes you can get the presentations that were uploaded by third parties. Here, for example, on the right hand side, I was competing against Avaya. Now, I got here not less than 1 hour 17-minute presentation of the main or the prime competing product to mine. But the one who just uploaded it was not Avaya, but a third party by the name of Marone Structure Technologies. So again, by going into YouTube, I could get my hands over this valuable presentation, or on the left-hand side, valuable webinar. Okay, so you can get here all sorts of interviews done with your competitors. There are even presentations, manuals, webinars, and so forth. Just look for the right words in the right platforms. So do use YouTube, and don't forget the Google videos to get your hands on information that appear on other platforms as well. Slideshare. Slideshare will enable you to get your hands over your competitor presentation. Slideshare, it's under the slideshare.net, but it belongs to LinkedIn. Okay, you can either log in through LinkedIn or through their domain directly. It's the right place to find presentations, not just your competitors' presentation, but other players in the market. Maybe by analysts that uploaded here some significant information about the players and the products. Here, for example, I was looking for a presentation about Salesforce and got 86 slides about Salesforce and how to use Tableau in Salesforce within a second. Now, since it is a social media platform, I could share it myself, I can like it, I could also download it to my computer. How convenient, how efficient. So do look for some information that is nothing but presentations here on Slideshare. And just for your information, we are talking about web intelligence and social media intelligence in the online world. But this decade is the smartphone's decade, right? It's your mobile phone decade. So what you can do is you can run a physical search by using sophisticated mobile applications. Talking about the visual aspects of intelligence, CamFind, for example. Cam stands for camera. Find information. You can run a physical search, assuming you are in a conference or so, and you come across some of your competitors' products that are on display. You can just, use this application's camera to take a picture of this product that you see in front of your eyes in the physical world, and then this application has a built-in search engine that will compare what you just saw in front of your eyes to the information about this product on the net. So there you can obviously get to stores that sell these products, or distributors that sell this product, and so forth. So we live in a decade where the information is all around us. We can capture it and run simultaneously an online search to verify its existence and the way it is used in all kind of online places throughout the net. That is hilarious, to my humble opinion. And you can use the Google Play Store to find a lot of similar applications like CamFind, okay, and they're all free. So do yourself a favor, run an image search on Google Play and or the App Store, and get yourself such an application. And if you would like to generate your own kind of neat dashboards and reports, you know, it's the era of dashboards, it's the era of infographics, it's the era of visualization, then you can create your own kind of reports by using tools like Google Data Studio. And by generating such nice reports, something like that, I would obviously make you become much more attractive to the decision makers within your organization walls and also to your customers. It's quite easy, quite effective, and it tells the story as you would like to show it without getting your client or your boss reading long, boring report comprised of 30, 50 long pages. No one has time today. No one has attention. So to cut a story short, you can actually generate your own kind of data using such tools.